Welcome to Biology with Deepika, and in this video we will be learning about the life cycle of Spirogyra. This is how the Spirogyra looks like. It is a freshwater alga, it is green in color, and this is how it's look like. It is a free-floating freshwater alga and commonly known as pond silk. In this video, we will learn why it is known as pond silk. Spirogyra belongs to the class Chlorophyceae, order Conjugales or Gygnematales, and family Gygnomaceae. Then we will see its thallus structure. Thallus means the filament. This is the filament and its structure. The thallus is unbranched and uniseriate, means the cells are arranged in a single row. Here we see how the cells are arranged in a single row. All the cells in the filament are similar. In few species, holdfast is present. For example, in Spirogyra fluviatilis, the cells are mostly rectangular and longer than broad. Here we can see in this figure how the cells are more rectangular. The cell wall is bilayered and the outer layer is made up of pectic substances. Here I have shown in the picture like this. The outer layer is made up of pectic substances and the inner layer is made up of cellulose. Then we will see why the Spirogyra is known as pond silk. The outer pectic substances in the cell wall of Spirogyra, which is found in dissolves in the water to form a slimy mucilaginous substance around the filament. This explains the smooth silky nature of filament and hence the name pond silk. This mucilage checks the growth of epiphytes on filament. Then we will see how the transverse wall of Spirogyra. The transverse wall between the adjacent cells is generally simple and plain, but may also be replicate or colligate type. In replicate type, the middle lamella forms a ring-like structure. But in colligate type, distinct edge-shaped pieces are formed between the adjoining cells. Then we will move on to the cytoplasm of Spirogyra thallus. This is the cytoplasm we can see here in this picture. The cytoplasm is present in the form of a layer close to the cell wall. Here we see this is the cell wall and cytoplasm is present close to the cell wall, and it is called primordial utricle because it is formed in a fully developed vacuolated cell. A large central vacuole is surrounded by cytoplasm. A single nucleus is present in the center of the cell and is held by thin cytoplasmic strands which transverse through the vacuole. The chloroplast in Spirogyra is the most characteristic feature of Spirogyra because it is ribbon shaped or strap shaped. So Spirogyra has ribbon shaped or strap shaped chloroplast. Here we see how it is ribbon shaped. This is the chloroplast of Spirogyra. They are arranged in left-handed or counterclockwise spirals in the peripheral region. The number of chloroplasts varies from 1 to 16 and margins of the chloroplast may be smooth or serrated. Serrated means rough. Many pyrenoids are present in the chloroplast at regular intervals. Here are the pyrenoids. This is the chloroplast. So pyrenoids are present at regular intervals in the chloroplast. Pyrenoids are the site for starch formation and accumulation. These are the starch plates and this is the aqueous protein. Then we will move on to the reproduction in Spirogyra. The reproduction in Spirogyra takes place by three methods: vegetative method, asexual method, and sexual method. We will see one by one. The first one is the vegetative method of reproduction in Spirogyra. The vegetative method of reproduction in Spirogyra takes place by fragmentation. The breakage of filaments occurs due to mechanical injury, dissolution of middle lamella in cells with replicate cross-walls, gelatinization of some intercalary cells, and due to formation of edge-shaped pieces in Spirogyra colligata. Then we will see the different type of asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction takes place in some species of Spirogyra. It takes place occasionally by akinets, planospores, and azygospores. Akinets. Akinets are reproduction found in Spirogyra farlowi. These are rich in reserve food materials. These are formed from an ordinary vegetative cell due to deposition of additional layers of cellulose and pectin. Then the aplanospores. Reproduction through aplanospores are known to occur in Spirogyra aplanospora, Spirogyra articulata, and Spirogyra mirabilis. These are formed during favorable conditions, and these are formed due to contraction of protoplasm and formation of a new cellulose wall around it. Then azygospores is another type of asexual reproduction. This is formed under unfavorable conditions. The gametes fail to fuse and each function as parthenospore. This is similar to zygospore formed by sexual reproduction and is known as azygospore. I have mentioned with figures this various type of asexual reproduction in my one video which I will give in the description box, the reproduction in algae. Then we will come to sexual reproduction in Spirogyra. The sexual reproduction in Spirogyra takes place by conjugation. In this method, non-flagellated gametes called aplanogametes are produced by the fusion to form zygospore. Two types of conjugation are found in Spirogyra: lateral conjugation and scalariform conjugation. The lateral type of conjugation takes place between cells of the same filament. So these are known as homothallic. This is very important. The lateral type of conjugation takes place between the cell of the same filament. Here we can see it is the same filament. The lateral type of conjugation takes place in the same filament. So it is homothallic. These are primitive than scalariform conjugation. Lateral conjugation can take place by three different methods: indirect lateral conjugation, terminal lateral conjugation, and direct lateral conjugation. Indirect lateral conjugation is the type of conjugation where two adjacent cells of the same filament take part. The two cells develop tube-like protuberances and unite to form a conjugation tube. Here we see they form protuberances and they unite to form the conjugation tube. The protoplast of the conjugating cells contract and form gametes. The outgrowths of the adjacent cells fuse to form a passage between them. The contracted protoplast of one cell, now called the male gametangium, moves through the conjugation passage into the adjacent cell, now called the female gametangium. The fusion of both the gametic protoplasts results in the formation of a diploid zygospore. The male cell or gametangium is now empty due to migration of all its content, and now zygospore occupies the female gametangium. Here we see the male, one is the male gamete and another is the female gamete. All the mucilage from the male gametangium move to the female gametangium, and the male gametangium is now empty and a diploid zygospore is formed. This type of lateral conjugation is known as anisogamous lateral conjugation. Indirect lateral conjugation is found in Spirogyra tenuissima and Spirogyra affinis. Then the type of conjugation, then lateral conjugation is terminal conjugation. Here Hodgetts, a scientist in 1920, has described a different process of conjugation in Spirogyra colligata called terminal conjugation. In this type, conjugation tubes are produced on either side of the septum of the two conjugating cells. The male gamete enters the female gamete by perforating the septum of the conjugation tube. Then the direct lateral conjugation. This was reported by Anger, a scientist, in 1958 in Spirogyra jugensis. The filament is attached to the substratum by its basal cell. Lateral conjugation takes place between two cells placed close to the basal cell. The lower of this cell is the female cell. Means a filament is attached to the ground and the lower cell is considered to be the female cell. The female cell swells while the protoplast of the male cell becomes conical. The conical end of the male gametes pierces the lower septum and enters the female cell. The male and the female nuclei fuse to form diploid zygospore. At the end, male and the female nuclei fuse to form a diploid zygospore. This is very important. Then we will move on to another type of conjugation known as scalariform conjugation. Scalar means ladder. So this name, this type of conjugation shows ladder-like appearance. So it is named as scalariform conjugation. Here we see it looks like ladder. And this scalariform conjugation takes place between two filaments, two different filaments of Spirogyra. So it is known as heterothallic. Unlike the lateral conjugation in which conjugation takes place with the same filament, in scalariform conjugation, the conjugation takes place between two different filaments. So it is known as heterothallic. These are common type than lateral conjugation, and some species can show both lateral and scalariform conjugation. Due to mucilage outgrowths arising from the cells of two filaments placed opposite to another, conjugation begins. These are conjugation tubes. The further growth of the conjugation tube pushes the two filaments apart. Later, the common wall of the conjugation tube dissolves and the passage is formed. Here, dissolve and the passage is formed. The protoplast of the conjugating cells contract and form gametes. These accumulate abundant starch. The male gamete moves in a amoeboid manner through the conjugation tube into the female cell of another filament. This is important. The male gamete moves in amoeboid manner through the conjugation tube into the female cell of another filament. Now the nucleus of male gamete fuses with the nucleus of the female gamete and forms a diploid zygospore. At the completion of scalariform conjugation, the cells of the male filament become empty while the cells of the female filament are filled with zygospores, and these zygospores are diploid zygospore. Here we can see the male cell is now empty and the female cell, male nuclei fuses with the female nuclei to form the zygospore. Here we can see it is male cell are in the left side and female cell in the right side, but it doesn't mean like that. The female cell can also be in the right side and left side, and the male cell can also be in the right side. And so the scalariform conjugation, it looks like this and it happens in this way. Then we'll move on to the zygospore. A mature zygospore has three-layered wall. The outer smooth, thin and cuticularized exosporium. The middle brown, thick and ornamented the outer smooth, thin and cuticularized exosporium, the middle brown and thick and ornamented, this is ornamented mesosporium, and the inner thin endosporium. The mesosporium is made up of chitin, while the remaining two, the exosporium and endosporium, are made up of cellulose. The mesosporium serves as the main distinguishing character for different species of Spirogyra. The zygospores are liberated due to death and decay of the wall of female cells. They sink to the bottom of the pond until favorable conditions like rain arrive. During this period, filaments of Spirogyra appears dark brown or violet in color. Then the zygospore germinates when there is rain, and the course of division takes place like this way. The diploid nucleus of the zygospore, we have read how the conjugation takes place. The male and female nuclei fuse to form the diploid zygospore. Then it divides meiotically and 4 haploid nuclei is formed. And from this 4 haploid nuclei, 3 degenerates and the remaining one enlarges. Meanwhile, the other 2 layers burst open and the endosporium comes out in the form of a cylindrical germ tube. Here, the endosporium is coming out in the form of a cylindrical germ tube. Later, the germ tube divides transversely, forming a 2-celled filament. The distal and the upper cell, by repeated transverse division, forms a long multicellular uniseriate filament, like the filament of Spirogyra usually looks like. Thus, in Spirogyra, each zygospore on germination gives rise to a single filament or thallus, which is uniseriate. In Eulothrix, zygote germinates to form 4 new filaments. But in Spirogyra, a single filament is formed. In Spirogyra, zygospore undergoes rest before germination. So, this is the cycle of how from a filament a sexual reproduction takes place, and different type of sexual reproduction taking place, and zygospore, then meiosis, a new filament is formed. Then in this way the life cycle of Spirogyra occurs. So this is all about the life cycle of Spirogyra. Hope you like this video. Thank you for watching my video, and please like, comment and share, subscribe my video. Thank you so much for watching.